So, Coach, I got a question here. When UConn was slicing you guys up for the first 7-8 minutes of the game, did Gigi say to deploy the white full court press, or was that you?
No, Gigi's at home rooting us on, licking my hand now. This one, he is like my shadow. And unfortunately, right now, my wife had back surgery, so she has to come to practice 3 individual instructions and pass out when we get home.
That's got to be hysterical, watching you, be as animated as you are and little Gigi prancing around the practice court. Does she like it? She has fun?
Yeah, she just keeps following me side to side.
All right, so here we are. We've pretty much hit everything this year. I want to start with this because I'm very curious myself. So you kind of know where you might be seed-wise. Maybe the last 2, very probably a 3. When you find out on Selection Sunday, how do you start the scouting on the team that you play in a couple of days? Like, what's that process
We'll
like
start guessing.
Oh.
If we win the Big East, we think we'll be a 2 seed in Providence. Could be in Providence either way. So right now we're just focused on the game. Selection Sunday. Look, at the beginning of the year, we talked about winning the Big East, but our goal was to make the NCAA tournament. Did we expect to have 18 wins, a possible 2 seed, a conference championship by 3 or 4 games? I think we were hopeful, but I'm grateful today more than anything else. The word grateful, I am really grateful for having players like this, coaching staff like this, fans like this. I'm so grateful because when this would happen, like it's happening now, I thought down the road, never thought it'd be this.
You've said that, and you've expressed gratitude, and I think that comes across. You're very transparent with that. Now, you have coached teams that have won championships, that have gone to Final Fours. We'll see what the fate of this team is. But is it a stretch to say that this is one of the, and you might not ever have it again even here, collection of chemistry and hard work and all the things you look for to coach with one kind of team? Is that makes sense?
You know what's the most amazing thing to me as I look back on all of this? We've had major injuries. Major. Brady Dunlap goes out, affects our shooting for the season. Our top 3-4 shooters on the team, Jaden Glover goes out. We've had Aaron miss time, RJ missed time, Davon's going to miss about a half a season, Cook's missed a little bit. The injuries were debilitating, and we never missed a beat, which is shocking to me.
Why is that?
I think the next person up has really contributed. Like the last game, Sim had a terrific game. I think Kadari's conditioning would never allowed him to play 38, 40 minutes. He's playing it now. It's amazing to me, it really is.
Have you seen enough somebody like Lefty? Because what we see, we like him, we're intrigued by him. Have you seen enough in the small samples you're like, all right, this kid could play here?
What I like about him more than any other person on the team, he doesn't count his misses, and he has no fear of taking 8 shots.
Yeah, he gets them up, man.
And we need that desperately. But he's playing well, playing great in practice, and
see you, Cheech.
He didn't like the spotlight. She didn't like the spotlight.
Yeah.
But
she's back.
But I just think that he's got something that you can't teach. He's not afraid.
What was the atmosphere like at Marquette compared to, say, the Garden against a Creighton or a UConn?
It's like the Garden. 18,000 people. Really, really very polite fans. It was a professional crowd rooting for their team, but tough crowd. It was their senior night.
I know.
If you chart how many times Marquette's lost senior night, won't be too many.
You actually have a stat on that, or like you have a sense of what that is? No.
Yeah, I think probably in the last 15 years there's maybe 1.
Wow. Well, I mean, they're very good and they're very senior laden, which is one of the reasons.
Tom Crean before him with the Wade era.
Oh yeah, Tom Crean was very, very good coach. So R.J. Lewis, as we tape this, named the Player of the Year in the conference. That does not happen too often for St. John's. What does it mean for you as his coach? The shin splints, getting him from UMass, the shin splints, and all the praise you've thrown his way, and a couple of down points as well. But what does that mean to the program?
So let's start from the beginning. I showed them a tape from the beginning of the year in the locker room before we took the court, one of the early games at Carnesecca, about playing for the name on the front.
Yeah.
If you play from the name on the front, the back will prosper. Over and over, I kept saying that. But you must play for the front, which means you must play as a team person, and the name in the back will get individual awards and prosper. So now you look at it. 3 All Big East teams, 2 first teams, most improved,
Yeah.
and MVP. So You played as a team. Now, let's take the flip side about winning. Dixon was the leading scorer in the nation.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And didn't get an individual award.
They didn't win a lot of games.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all about winning.
Yeah.
When you win, the name on the back prospers. If all your efforts, all your mental discipline, all your emotions play for the front, and they all played for St. John's the entire year.
They really, it's amazing watching this group click and mesh and just fight. So when you delivered that message at the start of the season, did you think it resonated the way it needed to right away, or did that take
Well, what I
time?
told them today, it resonated with every team I've ever coached.
Huh?
At the end of the year, when the awards are presented,
Yeah.
the team that wins the most games gets the awards.
Yeah, for sure. You think Kadari got a little hosed as a second teamer?
He had a span of 2 weeks where he didn't play great, like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, yeah.
And that probably hurt him a little bit. I think it wasn't getting hosed as much as you got Zuby and you got RJ.
Yeah.
Are you going to put 3 in there?
I mean, think about this. We went from everybody, we've chronicled this century largely empty, and all of a sudden now we're fighting for 3 guys on the first team.
Well,
It's
here's what I
amazing,
told
actually.
him. Here's what I told him.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't get first team, but I think you're top 3 guards in the country. So
yeah. And Lewis RJ was nominated for the Dr. J Award, one of the top 5 forwards in the country. Man, what surprised you the most about this team? I know I've asked you that at various points of the season, but right now, as we get ready for the tournament, regular season over, what has been the biggest surprise to you, Rick?
Well, it happened so many times. With 4 minutes to go in the game, I said to him this time, I said, okay, we squeaked out the first round of the NCAA. Now we're in the 32. There's 4 minutes to go in the game. Are we going to the Sweet 16? That's what I said to him at Marquette.
Wow.
And we got there, and I said, we're going to play these 3 games in the Big East as if the Elite Eight is on the line.
Ooh, I hope Vice captured all that. I want the audience, I want to actually hear you say it.
So it's important that you play it that way, and you use that because it's one and done. The NCAA can be cruel. All of a sudden, you're having a great year, and you lose, and it's over, and you go in the locker room and say, I'm never going to see a bunch of you again. It's tough. It's a tough feeling.
Oh, that's got to be tough. So, I know when a player or any athlete steps on their field, and this is going to be a tough one for you because you've been very humble this year, but I can't wait to get the answer here. Athletes know if they're quicker, faster, stronger, tougher, better than their opponents. Now, it doesn't always mean they're going to win, but they have a general innate sense. You walk on the court, you know you have an advantage over most coaches. You have to feel that, right? Do you feel that?
Well, I think you know what not to do from all these years of experience. Wisdom comes from age, obviously. So you may be a little wiser, but they're all going to be well prepared. They're all going to be terrific coaches. You may be a little wiser because you've experienced so many tournaments. You learn what not to do, but the edge really goes to the players you have. That's the key. We will be prepared. We will be prepared with every out-of-bounds play. We'll be prepared with every special situation. Even though the other team may not play zone, we will practice against zone. So we will leave no stone unturned.
Yeah.
But I think wisdom comes with age. If I had a choice, I'd rather be 30.
Yeah. Listen, I'll go back a little bit myself. Do you think that the NCAA tournament committee will look to pit you eventually against your son, Louisville, Kentucky? How do you've been around this game a long time.
They actually never talk that way.
Really?
Yes.
You believe that?
I do, just because I've had great friends on the committees.
Okay.
And they say they really don't talk about that. They say now, they played his son early in the year, so that would be unfair. Let's not do that.
Okay.
So they do that.
What about maybe one of your former schools?
I don't see the benefit of why they would care about that.
Drama for the cameras. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We have plenty of sizzle as it is, but Rick against Kentucky, Rick Louisville, even more. You know how looking.
Yeah, I don't think they would do Louisville. I think that they could potentially do Kentucky, but I don't think they would do Louisville.
Do you get nervous before the Big East tournament?
I get nervous for every game.
Even like a non-conference.
We're playing
game here?
Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Really?
In a good way.
Yeah.
Just thinking going 100 miles an hour in my mind. Are we prepared for every little wrinkle? Because we don't want to lose to Quinnipiac. We lost to Michigan last year, quad 4.
Yeah.
I don't get too nervous at Marquette. Against the great teams, I don't get too nervous.
Okay.
But against the teams you're supposed to beat, I'm sick.
Well, I mean, you've only had 4 losses, so you haven't felt sick too much, and one of them we got hosed on, as we know, with Baylor. All right, last thing. What's been the most special moment for you this year? We've had 10 episodes. We've had you on most of them. It's been a magical ride.
At Marquette.
Really?
Yeah, because
More than Providence?
Yeah, because the atmosphere was so tough. It was senior night.
Yeah.
They needed the game. and we've already clinched, so we have every psychological disadvantage. We're on the road. It's senior night. Great team, great coach. We had to overcome so many obstacles emotionally, mentally, and physically, and we did it.
Wow. See, I thought you were going to say maybe Stores, because even though they're not quite what they've had some injuries as back-to-back champions, but to me, that's like I think that's when some of the fans who weren't sure about St. John's, they're like, whoa, they just went up at Stores. Like, I'm not talking about the diehards, like those fringe fans. To me, that was a launch pad for even the rest of the nation to jump in on St.
Yeah, I think you're right. It captured a lot of our fans, but the Marquette game was the one that sticks out for me, because it was so many things going against us.
Yeah.
We didn't need it,
Yeah.
so we had to overcome that. Really special.
Okay.
Really special game.
It's been a special season.
A lot of times you say the most special game is the last one you play.
Okay. All right, listen, let's hope we're saying that another month.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic ride, and no matter what happens, and this is the final show of the year, it has been great. I think your transparency, your knowledge, I know I appreciate tremendously. I know St. John's fans I would have to think they've enjoyed this year and last year with you talking to them as much as any Red Storm report, and I've been doing this for a while.
And I say this, with all humility. You always want to. I mean, I don't know if we could win 18 games again next year, but the ride's just starting. The fun's just starting. It really, we're going to always have excitement. We're always going to have this. This is not. Maybe we won't win 18 games, but we're going to be there every year from this point on. It's not going to happen any other way. We're going to be there.
How good does that sound to hear? I mean, how good does that feel to hear that, St. John? And you know what? You believe him. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks for everything this year.
Boss, my pleasure. That was great. Quick time out. The Red Storm report rolls on. Gigi, we're going to win? We're good? Next, right here on MSG.